Today we'll be unboxing the Summers from Another Mother on Rip It Open with Newman. Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be unboxing X-Men's Cable from Mezco Toys. Nathan Christopher Charles Summers, the man known as Cable, was created by Rob Liefeld, Louise Simonson, Chris Claremont, and Rick Leonardi. The son of Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor, Cable is a time-displaced mutant living with a technogenic virus given to him by Apocalypse as an infant. Now in the present day, Cable fights to stop the dark future awaiting both human and mutant kind. Happy X-Men Wednesday, everyone! Today we are going to continue opening up X-Men themed figures, specifically from Mezco Toys. Now, much like the other Mezco toys, I've actually been holding on to this for a while, but today is the day that I finally open it up. On this holiest of X days, blessed to thee. So as usual, we're going to go ahead and look at the box art up close. Pretty similar to Gambit and Magneto's box art, just different colors. Turning it to the side, you can see that it is also similar to Magneto and Gambit's box art. And lastly, we're going to look at the back. It's a picture of Cable with all of his accessories, as well as a nice few promo shots. Okay, so let's get to it. Got a nice view of Gomez right here. And here we're going to pull out the Mezco Certificate of Authenticity. And next up, an instruction manual on the light-up feature for this figure. Next up is an aerial view of the figure-in package. And now that the initial unboxing is done, we're going to go ahead and get a closer look at this. So we've got some standard Mezco packaging going on right here. Now, Cable has always been one of my favorite characters. He just screams early 90s to me. Like, when I think of the early 90s, I think of Cable and neon shoestrings. But here, like, look at this figure. This is looking really good. Like the soft goods on the pants. I like how they're not spandex, that they're like workman's pants, like Dickies or something. Sculpt looks good. Right. Neck articulation is good. Ab crunch is kind of there. Alright, arms go up. No issue there. Check out twist at the bicep. That's good. Now, supposedly this has a double jointed elbow, but because of that big damn glove, you can't really get all the way up. And it's kind of the same for this robotic arm too. I think the muscles are just a little too big and not placed properly, I guess. Wrists are fine. You know, they do what they need to do. Back and forth, up and down, around and round. Alright, let's go back to that ab crunch. So forward, not so much, but backwards very good. It's the stomach padding that's getting in the way. Let's check out the legs. He can do the splits. Right, and there's a thigh twist in there. Thigh twist underneath all that cloth. And again, I believe he's supposed to have a double joint at the knee, but these boots are getting in the way. As to be expected from Cable. Everything is big on Cable. But these are some pretty big boots. Which is kind of hindering the ankle articulation. It's there, but it's not really there. But overall, all the sculpting, the painting is excellent. It looks very good, very nice. And it feels very good in hand. There is going to be some restriction of movement though, based on just the sheer bulk of the accessories on this figure, or the appendages. Big gloves, big boots, big armor. Alright, let's see if he can stand up on his own. Ah, he lives. Yep, not surprising with those big boots and super sturdy ankles. Alright, we're going to take a look at the extra head sculpt. Kind of a grr face. I know it's coming up blurry on my camera, but there should be a picture in the upper right hand corner that you can view as well. Alright, we've got a big gun. If there's no big gun, it ain't Cable. Very nicely painted. I like the orange in here, and the blue. Oh, we got a Mr. Stabby Stabby. Looks serrated too. Yeesh. And we got a hand pistol. I really like this. It looks... It's hard to explain. It's like it looks like it's broken, but it's not. And we got a... Looks like a recharging pack. There's two of those. And we got another gun. Looks like a rail gun. Like the green in there. It's a transparent green plastic in there. Looks really nice. Almost looks like an ooze gun. Alright, we're going to take a look at some extra hands. Oh, there we go. We've got some trigger finger hands. Some regular gripping hands. And lastly, two grabby hands. And of course, one is going to have the brown and blue glove, and the other one is going to be robotic. But overall, a good feeling figure. I like it quite a bit. Now, his neck articulation was actually not great. It couldn't go... He couldn't look up or look down very well. And that's because I had forgot that there's a light up feature on this. You can see the little LED light in there underneath his neck. So because that's a fixed joint, he can't really do, you know, those like looking up. It's really just the left to right. You know, this face sculpt is giving me Patrick Wilson vibes. Just a little bit. Okay, so let's get his Mr. Stabby Stabby. See if it... Oh, that's a perfect fit. And it is a tight fit. Whew, okay. Right, let's see how it fits in his hand. Alright, nice and tight. And let's see how that looks. Cable's about to give him the business. Again, apologies for the blurry camera. I don't know what's going on with this thing. But trust me when I say it looks good. Alright, we're going to try out the pistol in the hand and the trigger hand. See how this bad boy looks. Looks good. Nice fit. Pop it off and pop it on. Alright, looking nice. Cable's ready for action. Now he's ready for a different kind of action. That looks good actually. I'm not gonna pose it like that though, but it looks good. Okay, so now we're gonna try the BFG. BFG number 1. Now let me tell you that this was a struggle to get this in a good position. I was getting really frustrated actually. Because this is a great looking gun and it's a great looking figure. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to get it posed so that he has it two-handed. I just couldn't get it for some reason. You know, it's great that the fingers are rubbery because they won't break, but also they just kind of move all over the place. So there was a bit of frustration, as you can see, getting this thing to be gripped properly, two-handed. And it's a combination of the bulk padding for his chest. and the glove on his arm. It gets in the way a little bit. I realize that's Cable's aesthetic, but I wonder if there is some sort of workaround. Like, see, I can get it like this, one-handed. One-handed, fine. That's all good. It looks good too. It nests very well on the bicep. So now we're going to go for the BFG number 2. And I am struggling equally as hard with this thing. It almost makes me wish that, I know it wouldn't be feasible, but that like the hands are already attached to some of these guns. But then you really don't want that, because then no, you don't want that. Because if you want them for other figures, if you want them lying around, if you want them posed with it like that when it's not in his hand, then you create a whole nest of problems if you have the hand already connected to the gun. So I must struggle. You may not struggle as much as me, but I was just having serious problems with this thing. Like, I can get it to get there. I guess so. Alright, that looks good. But man, the journey. It is a journey, let me tell you. So this figure might not be for you if you lack patience. And full disclosure, while trying to get him to pose with these guns, my patience was dwindling, to say the least. But you can get it there, and you can make it look good. But the two-handed poses aren't as easy to come by, because just the arms aren't long enough, and the bend at the elbow isn't enough. But let's move on. Let's move on. So we got these battery packs. Now, I thought that there was some place that we could store them on his belt. Not so much. And if I can't store them there, then they must go on the gun. So let me check out the guns. Not so much on BFG number 2. So I just kind of moved on. So I'm going to house the pistol, which houses very nicely, right in the front. I always thought it was a bit dangerous to house your gun right above your crotch. But hey, I'm not a time-traveling warrior. So I'm going to look at this gun again. I'm going to figure out where to house this battery pack, because I don't want to look at these instructions quite yet. I want to fumble my way through this. Here's BFG number 1, and winner, winner, chicken dinner. We got a match. So this battery pack, 1 of 2, can nest easily into BFG number 1. So it looks like a round. That looks good. So we'll look at BFG number 2, see if there's any place to house the second one, but it doesn't look like there is. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a double check with Cable, make sure that there's no open pouches. Then I can house the extra battery pack, because I know Mezco is infamous for this. Look at those soles. Those are nice. They're weathered too. There's painting on the soles. That's some good detail. But anyway, so usually Mezco would usually have a place on the figure's person to house various accessories, such as the knife and the pistol. But it doesn't look like that. They got an extra spot for the extra battery pack, but it looks like it would place pretty well in one of the grabbing hands. Okay, so let's see how BFG number 1 with the battery pack looks in hand, and I'm going to struggle through this again, and you should watch me struggle. So if you're having the same problems, you won't feel as bad. Or if you didn't have these problems at all, you can laugh at me. Win-win for both parties. And there we go. That looks good. That's the pose I was looking for. That's the Cable pose. Looks awesome. Yeah. Nathan Dayspring Ascani Summers. Okay, and we got it one-handed. Also looks good. Yeah. That's nice. Great painting, great detail. on both the figure and the gun. That looks very good. So this figure overall looks really great. I do like the posing options I can get here with all of the various accessories. The accessories on this are A+. The two big BFG guns, the knife, the battery packs, and the pistol. The pistol and the knife, again, which you can house on Cable's person. And through my fumbling of this figure, I found out where I can get the light up feature to turn on. And that's a nice hidden place for it. That's pretty cool. And yep, there we go. Again, I had completely forgotten about this light up feature on this figure. But we're just going to move Cable in a few more poses. Let's get a nice walk-in pose. Like the Terminator. Alright. Okay. That looks nice. Beautiful. Lovely. Okay, we're going to set that aside, and we're going to bring in Mezco Magneto and Mezco Gambit. We're going to see a little size comparison. Now this, unfortunately, I don't really like. I feel like the heights are a little off. Gambit's the tallest, and I feel as though he should be the shortest. Cable being the tallest, and then Magneto being right in the middle. It's all good, though. This is actually another reason that I decided to get this version of the Mezco Cable, the one with the giant boots and padding, as opposed to the blue and yellow spandex one. Because there are different feet, smaller feet, but the same buck. And it makes Cable even shorter, so I didn't want that. So again, here we got the Mezco bag, we got the batteries, the posing arm, and the X-Men base. With a nice weathered, beat up look. In the paint anyway. So let's go ahead and check out this light up feature. Gonna get a screw, get this unscrewed, get the batteries. It's great that they have these with them. Get everything housed in, seal it up, and look at that. That's really cool. I'm glad that it's not just the eye, but it's the X and the vents on both the front and the back. This looks really good. It makes me not as frustrated from all of the time it took me to get those big guns in his hands. But this is excellent. This is awesome. I love this. Nice. The lighting is very bright. In fact, I actually dimmed the light so that you could possibly get a better idea of just how bright the light is. And it doesn't quite as much come across. It does better than before. But if you hold this figure in hand and you're in a dark room, this is going to be awesome. Very cool. Alright, we're going to get that back on. And we're going to take one last look at Cable before we go ahead and wrap up. All in all, very nice. I like how the pants bag up like that. And then you've got the pouches over top of it. It looks so realistic. It's really cool. And despite the ankles not being, well, any good at all, I do like the sculpt of the boots, and I like how big they are. How big and bulky. All of this is really nice. Head sculpt's a little soft, but it's a Mezco head, so they're all going to be a little soft. I do wish there was some sort of feature that you could have on the back of the figure so that you could actually house one or both of his guns on the back. But then I would assume that would mess up with the light up feature. So it is what it is. It's all good though. Okay, so final thoughts. I think this is a really solid figure. The sculpt, the paint application, they are all A+. The articulation, it's probably like a B minus maybe. The accessories are also A+. They're fantastic. They're great. They kind of blow the Magneto Mezco figure out of the water. Also, the quote-unquote action feature, the light-up feature, is fantastic as well. It definitely beats the magnetic feature of the Mezco Magneto figure. I would say probably this is my second favorite out of the ones I've reviewed on this channel. It's coming right behind the Gambit, which I just think is a fantastic sculpt. It's a fantastic look for the character. I really like that Gambit figure. And it's better than the Magneto figure, which I felt was skimpy on the accessories. Overall, I think this is a great package. Again, the light-up feature, the sculpt, the look of the figure, the accessories. If the articulation was just a little bit better on this, I think it would have outclassed the Gambit figure. But as of right now, the Gambit figure is just probably like, half a star better than this. I would recommend getting this if you have the extra money, but I don't think this is a absolute must-need buy by any means. Just overall, I think it's a pretty solid figure. Okay folks, so that's going to wrap everything up. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, ring the bell for notifications, and I will check you later.